what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Mili reaction. Today we have, I've got to read this off, this has such a weird title. Past the Stargazing season, Canon and Gigue in Plectrum remix, original artist, Hag. So I've heard the name Hag before, obviously I've heard Mili before, but I've actually seen this requested quite a few times over the many months I've been covering Mili stuff, but this was actually requested in my executive producers by Big Sneeze. I don't know what this song is, like why people want me to get to it. I assume it's just because it's another Magmel song and a lot of people like that album, but I guess I'll have to find out. So without further ado, let's go!
Goodbye, goodbye, oh baby, goodbye, goodbye. No matter how many words we have to define. Goodbye, goodbye, oh darling, good night, no matter how many times it's just not right. Empty sky, I'm alone.
There's a few things that immediately came to mind, but I'll save those. I'm really intrigued by the instrument choices here. Obviously, I'm trying to focus on the lyrics here too, but I think there's a lot to be said about the instruments here. It's weirdly beautiful, and not in the usual Mili way. Maybe this is why people wanted me to hear it. This is making me feel weird.
On a cloudy night, just you and I. You're so close by, yet so far.
I mean, I can hear the canon in there, so now the title makes a little bit more sense. What is it with this song that makes me feel so specific? I wish I could say more right now. There are a few times where I'm left relatively speechless. But it's also strange how often that happens. A little note there at the end too, just the lift. It's strange how often that seems to happen with Mili's songs specifically. There is something about not just this song, but every once in a while, there's a few songs from Mili that get to me in a way. This, I think, might be the first one that's ever made me feel specifically this sort of way. And what specifically that way is going to be very hard to try and qualify to all of you watching this, but I'm going to do my best. Okay, so to start off, I learned something today. I learned what Gigue means, even though it's actually pronounced Gigue, which is both a dance in the Baroque era as well as what the German word for violin was kind of adapted to in that time as well. So when it says Canon and Gigue, it's talking about Canon, the song, with a violin, most likely, but also because a gigue is a specific structure of notes that makes up what a gigue is. There's a lot of variants of what a gigue is, but specifically a gigue in this context is the pattern of the D of Canon. That's apparently a thing that a lot of music actually has in common and was a thing that was done throughout a lot of that musical history. There's a few jigues that Bach had done, for example. So there's a lot that I learned out of this one. I didn't expect to fall down that rabbit hole, but I did, and now you know. So now we all know something new. I just personally never fell across that specific connotation. Plectrum is something that made more sense to me. I just didn't know if it was something to do with a video game or not, so I didn't really get into that, but plectrum is, plucking, basically. So, like, that all makes sense, too. So the title of Canon and Gigue in Plectrum is, like, the core idea of the title of this song, but then remix tacked onto that. So now the title makes more sense in general. That was probably added in there just so more people would find the song, maybe. And it's unfortunate too many people haven't in the grand scheme of things. Obviously, Mili and their fans have, but it's just like they were probably hoping for a little bit more recognition with what this song actually is and what it implements and how it remixes Canon, which is really fucking cool. It's beautiful. And again, in this state that I cannot explain, through the whole time I was digging down that rabbit hole, finding out what Gigue meant, I was trying to find ways to explain this, but I think the best way to explain it is the fact that it's canon. It's canon, and what canon is kind of dubious at best as far as its origin goes. Nobody's really entirely sure, like, knowing what that song was originally written for. But most people have obviously co-opted it to be something for graduations and weddings, so that's kind of what it's known to be. And that is one theory as to what it always was supposed to be. So this tracks, and it's like, okay, it's got this danciness, it's got this bounce to it. That's kind of why canon sticks in our heads the way that it does. And I think this is fascinating because I've personally never really put much thought into Pachelbel's canon at all. Like, not even a little bit, really, aside from just knowing what it is. And that's why this rabbit hole was so deep for me. But this kind of tracks with the energy that it is. It's something that is supposed to bring this energy of this, like, lifted bounce, this sort of like, it's positive, but at the same time, thought-provoking. It's melancholic, yet at the same time, joyous. It's this weird blend that Gigues specifically, that pattern, kind of has in common. I was listening to a few of them, like I mentioned the Bach one, for example. There's quite a few, and they all kind of have a similar bounciness to them. And again, this is just why maybe I can't exactly explain why this song is hitting me the way it is. I think the lyrics make a difference in that case. Like, for example, the harpsichord being there and not being the usual collection of instruments that Mili tends to use. It's not that they don't use harpsichord, but this is definitely a different focus in general. It doesn't have like the guitar stuff in there. It doesn't have more of the focus on a piano specifically. It's specifically harpsichord. And I'm wondering if that's probably just because it's supposed to be a canon remix of sorts. But also, maybe there's something deeper to that I'm just not aware of with whatever the purpose of this song was. Clearly, the lyrics here are just talking about more generalized ideas like love, for example, but there's something that feels so strangely familiar about it. It's almost nostalgic in a way, and I think that might just be Canon doing that to me, but at the same time, the lyrics felt very punchy as well. Like, not in the, like, aggressive way, obviously, but they hit you right in the feels, and I feel like that was probably on purpose. For whatever reason this song exists, they wanted to get that feeling out of you, and what better than borrowing a song and utilizing that essence that's already kind of hard baked into that track and just changing the context. It's the reason that a lot of pop artists have used Canon as well for more modern takes on the song. It always ends up being this more like pseudo positive, but at the same time reflective, nostalgic kind of sound. And I think everyone agrees that that's just where this song is really shining the brightest, and this song being what it is based on Canon makes it sound so much more emotional than I anticipated. And that's why I think I was getting this like wash of confusion, because I was trying to make heads or tails of something that I'm already familiar with, but at the same time, this specific version was done in a way that was just getting to me more than the usual. Because I knew Canon, once it popped up, I recognized that, but I didn't really think much more of it, kind of like I haven't thought about the song itself much, and I'm just kind of blown away by how that hit me. It's very, very intense feeling. I was actually starting to hold back some like choking up in the chest at the end of the song. It wasn't like building up tears or anything, but you definitely start to get that like tension in your lower like throat before it starts to all close up and the emotions start to flow. There was something about that tightening in my chest that was really getting me there, and I'm not entirely sure why it was hitting me that way, because I've heard Canon so many times and I don't have like a personal moment in my life that would have made this song force me to feel like that. I don't have a moment that this song played that was like profound to me in any specific way. I didn't even graduate high school, so I don't even have that. So I'm like, what am I hearing that's making me feel this way? And my end goal of that was just the lyrics. For whatever reason, they just hit home nicely, and it was a beautiful track. I mean, this sounds gorgeous. It is definitely one of their older songs. You can hear that in the way it's mixed. It's a little bit more shallow. Even Cassie's voice is more thin because of the qualities of their equipment back then. You can tell that there are definitely like dated aspects to this song, but it doesn't really affect the meaning and feeling of the track. And I think this one's beautiful, albeit as simple as the concept for this one is. They really did this. This might be one of my, like, I don't know if I would put it top 5, but it's top 10, just based on what it is and how they did it. If anything, it's just the sheer respect I have for this song for making me feel some sort of way about a song that I hadn't really ever given much of a thought to. And I think that there is points to be had with that. So they did a really fantastic job on this one in general. And it made me want to like learn where like the, on the piano was. Like, I just did that by ear because I'm like, ooh, what happens here? I was just messing around with it so much in between and doing the deep dive that it made me learn parts of Canon. Something, again, that I hadn't really ever thought to care about. But, and like, again, there's got to be points to that. So, Mili doing it again. I don't know how they keep doing this. I don't know how they keep ripping emotions out of my dead soul that I never even knew possible. But they do. They keep doing it, and it's very impressive. So, here's another song from Mili. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you have something else you want me to get to from Mili, by all means, drop in the comments below. I am always open to hearing more because they always surprise me, even with stuff like this. And if you want to guarantee something, much like Big Sneeze did for this one, you can always go to my Patreon, and if that tier is open, you can guarantee something that way. Doesn't matter who it's by, what it's from, if it's good or bad, does not matter. That's why it's a guarantee. But if you don't want to do any of that, maybe just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!